Grieving families are now joining cops outside of convicted rapists' homes in Cleveland, Ohio. Police said they could smell death just 15 feet from the door. 6 bodies scattered all over the home.
The coroner says it could take days, possibly weeks, to identify the bodies. At least 5 of them apparently were strangled. The 6th body is too decomposed to know how that person was killed.
The 50-year-old suspect, Anthony Sowell, he served 15 years for rape before moving into the house in 2005.
According to investigators, he was actually walking down the street when he was looking rather suspicious. He was wrapped sort of in a hood, and there was a gentleman who was driving by and noticed him.
He looked at me real hard, and I had a chance, to look at him real hard. I said, that looked like the dude that the police was looking for.
Once a violent sex offender, a serial murderer, he's not going to stop, so we have to look everywhere. 6 bodies in his own home, and here's somebody that would go on doing this from here to eternity if unchecked.
I don't believe these individuals can be rehabilitated at all. I mean, I think we need to wake up as a society, and they need to be put away for life.
In the last half hour, the suspect has been arrested in the 4th District, and it has been confirmed. A citizen came into the 4th District Police Station, stated that they saw the suspect on a street called Manor. Zone car responded to the area, located the suspect on Mount Vernon, placed him under arrest without any problems. He was taken to the district, fingerprinted and identified, and stated that he was the suspect.
This man was living in his 3-story home with multiple dead bodies. Seasoned detectives go in, and they're going in. He's a convicted rapist. They go in to arrest him on another rape that he allegedly did after he got out of his 15 years behind bars. And they find, instead of finding him there, they find half a dozen, at least, dead bodies on every level of the home, including stuffed in the crawl space. My prediction, there will be more. Now to Ken Robinson with WTAM 1100. Ken, what happened?
Well, Anthony Sowell, a known sex offender who spent 15 years in prison, he was released in 2005. He served the maximum amount of time for his conviction.
Mr. Robinson, hold on.
Yes.
The man gets out in 2005.
That's right.
And in that space of time, we already have half a dozen dead women in his home that we know of, and I'm predicting there's going to be more. He's done all that since 2005?
Since 2005. We're not sure when the alleged killing spree actually started, but he's been out of prison since 2005. He served his time. He served his maximum time, 15 years.
It's 4 years. In 4 years, we've got at least 6 dead bodies. And once they start excavating that backyard, Ken Robinson, the Lord in heaven only knows what we're going to find. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Ken.
Well, I was just going to jump in and say that today Cleveland police started searching abandoned homes. This is a very depressed area. There's a lot of abandoned homes in the area. They started going inside homes looking to see if the suspect left any evidence there or any other bodies there. So this probe may be expanding.
With me, Ken Robinson from Cleveland, joining us from WTAM 1100 AM. Lieutenant Thomas Stacco joining us, a special guest joining us tonight from Cleveland. He is the PIO with the Cleveland Police Department. Lieutenant, thank you for being with us. Do we have any idea, Lieutenant, who are these victims?
Well, we're working right now with the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office to identify the victims. We've asked people in the community to come forward with any information on missing persons. We've dedicated a number of our detectives at the 4th District, about a mile from where these bodies were found, to take reports of missing persons. We're asking the public to come forward with identifying information, photos, biographical information. Our detectives are interviewing those people and turning over our findings to the coroner's office.
And I disagree with that banner you're seeing on the lower third. 6 missing women found dead. There's going to be more. There are going to be more than 6 women. Out to Ellie Jostad joining us. What was his MO that we know of? Because in this case, we actually have victims who live to tell the tale.
Right.
The women that he raped in the past and the woman he allegedly raped in September, which leads me to another question, Ellie. He rapes her allegedly in September. Why are police just going into his home in November?
Yeah, we don't know the answer to that question, Nancy, but what we do know is that that rape he was convicted of, this 1990 rape, the MO there, he lures this 21-year-old woman into his house to have a drink with him. She says that after they're in there, he becomes angry, he punches her in the face, he begins strangling her with a cord, he rapes her. Now, she managed to get away. There's another woman in the September rape who describes a very similar MO. She runs into him on the street, he invites her to come drink with him, she says, no, thank you. He punches her then, drags her back to the house, same thing, strangles, and then allegedly rapes her.
With me tonight, Dr. Howard Oliver, joining us out of L.A., former deputy medical examiner, forensic pathologist. Dr. Oliver, thank you for being with us. Doctor, let's just assume the worst case scenario, that these bodies have been degenerating for the past 4 years. Now, I don't believe that because there's a stench. And if they were that long dead, the stench would be gone by now, I'm guessing. But let's just say they're 4 years old. I've had cases where bodies had been found a couple of years later, and we had to use an artist reconstructionist to try and show the jury what the victim would have looked like in life. If these women have been dead 4 years, can we get a facial ID on them? Is that possible?
Yes, it's definitely possible. Most of the information you'd get with a body that deteriorated and that old would come from a forensic anthropologist, but you could, using anthropology, get a pretty good idea of what this person looked like.
You're taking a look at some notorious serial killers. Jeff Dahmer. There you're seeing John Wayne Gacy, the clown killer. There's Dahmer. There's Ed Gein, AILEEN WUORNOS. Gein was infamous. WUORNOS killed, you know, a dozen men. Then you've got BTK, the guy that worked at the dog pound. Ted Bundy, of course, the smooth-talking, handsome killer. There's David Berkowitz. They all have a lot of things in common, and this guy we're talking about tonight fits in to that category. Out to the lines, Rebecca in Louisiana. Hi, dear. What's your question?
Well, I want to know what is it that they didn't have him on parole or anything? They just let him go?
Oh, good question. And hello to all of our Cajun friends joining us tonight. Back to Ken Robinson, WTAM 1100. Why was he out walking the street? And it's my understanding that law enforcement had been to his home to check up on him many times, but they didn't have a warrant to go in. Couldn't they smell what was inside?
Yeah, I guess there's two parts to that, two answers to that question. Number one, he was out because he had 6 dead women. He was out because he served his 15 years, and police could not go inside his home without a warrant for, for arrest or a warrant to search. So he complied with all the requirements that he was required to do: register as a sexual offender, notify police every 90 days of his whereabouts, and police would come and check on him, and yes, he would be at his home.
Well, there goes his insanity defense. He could scrupulously adhere to the rules given to him. Everybody, we're taking your calls live. Seasoned detectives go into a 3-story home, Cleveland area, to find at least 6 dead bodies, all women. And we are predicting more. One of the most prolific serial killers of our times. Very quickly to tonight's safety tips. You and your children, easy targets, shopping at grocery stores, strip malls, and malls. Here are tips to avoid being targets. Keep your eye on your children at all times. Number 1, don't leave them unattended in shopping carts, even just to go to the next aisle. Be mindful of your pocketbook. Don't leave it open. Don't carry large amounts of cash. Stay focused. Stay off your cell phone. I know it's tempting, but it is a distraction. Carry self-defense products like pepper spray. Try your best to shop in daylight hours. I know that's hard. Remember where you parked, even if you have to write it down on your parking ticket or on your checkbook like I have to do. And have your keys out when you go back to your car. Children should know how to alert an employee or store security if they get separated from you. For more information, go to FBI.gov.